With the release of Into the Light, Bungie introduced a new PvE game mode, Onslaught, and with it came an entirely new set of brave weapons and the return of the Super Black shader. Unfortunately, both of these will be gone when the final shape releases, placing a deadline on which players have to grind Onslaught. So, I put together the best build in Destiny 2 for the purpose of grinding Onslaught. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Let's start off with our exotic armor piece of choice, Lucky Pants. These exotic boots allow us to deal exponential damage with our hand cannon for damaging foes after unholstering it, with a max of 10 charges. And the numbers can get crazy. With maximum stacks, I can be doing upwards of 50,000 damage per shot. Obviously, if we're going to want to use Lucky Pants correctly, we're going to need the ideal hand cannon, especially one that shoots fast enough to get the maximum stacks we need within 5.5 seconds, and also one that has enough magazine to live through the ammo needed. To me, two choices immediately stood out, the first one being Malfeasance. Malfeasance is a 140 exotic hand cannon that makes enemies explode upon rapid precision hits. Not only that, but it has a magazine size of 24, making it qualified for this build. Alternatively, you can use the Warden's Law. This hand cannon shoots in bursts of 2, similar to the Crimson's 3 burst, but what makes this hand cannon so interesting are its potential perks. More specifically, Vorpal Weapon and 4th times the Charm. Vorpal Weapon makes it deal more damage to bosses and mini-bosses like champions, which is ideal for any build. And 4th times the Charm returns bullets to the mag every 4 headshots, expanding the magazine size from too small to just right. I'll say though, without these perks, Warden's Law is completely out of the question and don't bother using it. But if you somehow don't have any of those, the Crimson Exotic Hand Cannon will do just fine, but I do heavily recommend one of these options. Now that we've gone over our exotic armor piece and primary weapon, let's go over our other two weapons before we get into anything else. Since Malfeasance, Warden's Law, and Crimson are all in the kinetic slot, we only have to worry about the special and heavy weapons. In our second slot, we will be taking any waveframe grenade launcher. To check if your grenade launcher is a waveframe, open it up and see if its intrinsic trait qualifies it as one. Some good picks for this slot are Undercurrent, Harsh Language, and the one I'll be using in today's video, Forbearance. Your heavy slot is not very important, but I would advise against rocket launchers, as most bosses in Onslaught tend to move around a lot and you'll end up missing the majority of your shots. Something along the lines of a machine gun or a linear fusion rifle will do the trick just fine. With the weapons out of the way, let's move on to the subclass screen. We will be choosing Solar as our subclass of choice. Starting out with our aspects, On Your Mark will be our first pick. This aspect will grant 1 charge of On Your Mark when getting a precision final blow, granting us and nearby allies increased weapon handling and reload speed, with the benefits escalating with every charge. Since Lucky Pants relies on headshots, we will always be getting the extra reload speed after defeating a champion or yellow bar enemy. Next, we will be taking Knock 'em Down, our second aspect that will make our super, Blade Barrage, launch more projectiles, aka more damage. Not only that, but it'll fully refund our melee of choice when defeating a target with it while radiant. We can pair this with our first fragment, Ember of Torches, which will grant us radiant on powered melee final blows. This gives us a cycle that grants us infinite melee and radiant uptime as long as we get final blows. We can further back this up by taking Gambler's Dodge as our class ability, a variant of the Hunter Dodge that will grant our powered melee back after dodging near an enemy. This assures that we never run out of melee charges. For our second fragment, we will be taking Ember of Mercy, which will grant you and nearby allies restoration when you revive somebody. Not only that, but picking up a Fire Sprite will also grant you restoration. Next, Ember of Benevolence, which will improve the ability regeneration rate of our grenade, powered melee, and dodge when applying restoration, cure, or radiant to allies, which of course, picking up a Fire Sprite will do just that. But how will we be getting Fire Sprites to proc Ember of Mercy? Well, our fourth fragment, Ember of Searing, will make Fire Sprites drop when defeating a scorched target. But again, what will we use to scorch? Well, we will be using Knife Trick as our powered melee. This is a variant of the Hunter knife that scorches on hit, and since we have infinite amounts of these, we will have unlimited fire sprites. And lastly, for our 5th fragment, we will take Ember of Solace to simply increase the duration of Radiant and Restoration applied to us. With our subclass screen out of the way, let's go over the armor mods we will be using in this build. We will start on the helmet, where we will be rolling with Special Ammo Finder to fuel our grenade usage, along with Special Ammo Scout to help teammates get their special ammo as well. On top of that, let's take a siphon that corresponds to your grenade launcher type to pump out orbs of power. Next up, on our gloves, we will be using a version of Loader that also corresponds to your grenade launcher type, along with a melee kickstart to boost our knife trick usage. For your chest piece, make use of a mix between reserves and resistances to boost your overall output in the battle. On our legs, we will be using Elemental Charge to grant us an armor charge whenever we pick up a fire sprite, along with Innervation and Recuperation to get a heal and some grenade energy whenever we pick up an orb of power. On our cloak, we will take Rebirth to generate an orb of power immediately after dodging, along with Powerful Attraction to collect orbs of power when dodging, and a special finisher to drop a single special ammo whenever we finish a target. And with that, this video is officially over. I hope this build will help you defeat Onslaught in the near future. And if you want to transfer everything I just said onto your Guardian in a single click, there will be a Mobalytics guide down in the description so you can apply it to your character. But with that, I'm out.